And welcome back to our second of our classifications now in the Para Dressage Freestyle competition. This is the Grade 5, 7 riders going forward to try and win the second gold of the day. The Netherlands opening up with victory in the Grade 4, and here are our 7. The key combinations to look out here for Sophie Wells with Fatal Attraction, obviously trying to back up her individual gold. Frank Hosmar from the Netherlands and Regine Mispel-Kamp look to be the 3 vying for gold medal. We'll be starting shortly with the rider from Saudi Arabia, Ahmed Shabatli. And then we have from Japan, Tomoko Nakamura. Natasha Baker alongside me. First up, though, Sanne Weerts, just short of 80%, but a very pleasing opening and a wonderful opening. And, you know, looking aside, if I was using the old Spectator app, I'd probably put her into the 80%, but what do I know?
Yeah, to be honest, I agree with you. I think I would have put her into the 80% as well. So good judging there, Rupert. Well done. It was a beautiful, fluent test, and she will be so proud.
Well, the judges for this Grade 5 include Marco Orsini, who will be at H, and Suzanne Cunningham is at E, and Prane at C, Hanneke Gerritsen at M, and Christy Vaisocki at B. So, the first of the 7. He is the partner of Manon Claes, who didn't quite have the day she was hoping for. It's been a frustrating week for Manon, missing out on bronze, and just didn't find the sparkle to match her wonderful outfit. It just didn't quite happen from the test, but still, it was very close amongst the minors. But America coming away with a bronze medal. But Ahmed Shabatli riding Cassandra, 11-year-old mare, which he owns as well, coming in and scored 63.095. Without probably of the grades, this is, I'm not saying the least competitive, but probably hasn't had not quite the strength. Well, probably if it's not got quite the strength and depth, it isn't as least competitive. You know, he hasn't quite, whereas your grade is serious, the Grade 3, yeah. Grade 4 as well, but she says dejectedly. But here's a chance, though, for Cassandra and Ahmed Shabatli to impress here in the freestyle, starting now. Very soothing, relaxing music to begin the test with his horse, Cassandra.
It's getting a bit more upbeat now. Do you know what? I'm so proud of Ahmed, because a few years ago he had to retire a few times and didn't make it through his test, or has just scraped the 60%, and now he's here at World Championships and achieved a 63 the other day. I'm so proud of everything that he's achieved, and he works so hard, so I'm so pleased that he managed to get through to the freestyle. Good half pass, just losing the quarters a tiny bit. It started off really well and then just lost the quarters a little bit towards the end. Really going for it in that medium canter. Drop the pole a tiny bit in the downward, but a lovely upward transition.
I like his music.
Yeah? It's cool, isn't it? It suits.
It's important to have music that's so true to you as an individual. Yeah. Don't think you have to do something, this is for the judges. It's got to reflect what you're about, because that helps you when you're giving your performance. You'll enjoy it more.
Exactly. You've got to love your music because you have to listen to it so much, and you don't want to be listening to music that you hate. But no, it's so important. I think if you love your music, you ride so much better. It's a shame he had a little jog there, just affecting the overall harmony. Just a few mixed signals, unfortunately, but he's got there. Really nice frame in the circle. Good balance. Just a loss of connection a little bit at one point in the shoulder in. Really nice steps in the medium trot. Ooh. A little bit early into the transition.
So, Ahmed Shahbati opening up the Grade 5 competition, the rider from Saudi Arabia. Well, obviously not going to be amongst the medalists, but still enjoying the experience of competing in the freestyle. He scored 63.095 in that individual competition. And obviously we'll be hoping to get a score somewhere in that mark this morning, as we have 6 more combinations to come forward. Should just mention, have we mentioned that your teammate Erin Orford has Lauren Bartwick has pulled out, and Erin can try and end the week on a bit of a high later on.
Yeah, it's really, really sad for Lauren, but I'm so pleased that Erin can go back in the arena and really ride the test of her life and have a great time out there to finish the week.
Not too good. Says Natasha.
No, but it's great for Erin to have the opportunity to come back in. It'll help her build her confidence.
Absolutely.
And the horses, and you know, she can show what she's made of. She had so much pressure on her shoulders yesterday, bless her, and I felt so sorry for her having to go last out of Ascot. And yeah, she can just go in and really enjoy it today, which is so important.
Well,
but very sorry for Lauren, who can't compete.
Well, indeed, and coming in now, and all part of the experience. We're talking about Ahmed Shahbati, and we're just referring to Erin about learning about competing. Okay, Erin was at the Europeans, but the Worlds is another level up, and that's all part of the experience. And obviously, if Erin can continue her progress, and obviously might be part of the Great Britain team at the Paralympics, because the team have qualified now with that silver medal. But Tomoko Nakamura has the chance to add further to his experience bank. 68.738 they scored, and we're actually getting the score for Ahmed. It's 63.825. Actually, that is a little bit of an improvement on his score from the other day, but obviously it's a different competition, different set of circumstances. But on paper, it's a better score.
Definitely. He was really looking to improve on his simple changes, and he definitely did that. So I think he'll be really, really happy. There was a couple of moments where he had a few miscommunications, but overall a really good test.
Well, now here goes the rider from Japan. Jazz is the horse, a 10-year-old gelding. And Tomoko Nakamura begins her test.
Come on, Rupert, you know this one.
Well, it was sung by Andy Williams, who we talked about earlier in the week. Can't remember the name of it now.
Yeah.
It's too good to be true.
Can't take my eyes off of you.
No.
Just losing the quarters a little bit in that half pass. This is looking really strong today, though. Lovely rhythm in the trot. Lots of, what's the word, Rupert?
Cadence.
Yay, he got it. Just a slight loss of regularity there in the medium.
Look, she did score 74.80 when winning a freestyle at Vorigem earlier this year. And got in finishing third at again Muiden. I assume that's in Holland, with scoring 73.458 when finishing third. So, as you can see, this is where we would expect to see her maybe in the mid-70s.
We love a bit of ABBA. I went to go and see Mamma Mia 2 the other day. Brilliant.
That was directed by my brother's brother-in-law.
You're kidding?
Nope.
That was my invite to the premiere then, huh?
That was mine.
And a bit more ABBA too. I'm going to start singing in a minute. Lovely half pass. She's kept the activity throughout her test, and a couple of little joggy steps there actually at the beginning of that. That's a bit of a pity, but she's kept the fluency, the regularity really, really nicely. Lovely half pirouette. A really technically challenging test. The tempi changes, half pirouettes, and changes on a curved line as well. Better downward transition there, not showing any jogging. Lovely medium canter, so much elevation. And then a great transition back to prepare for the pirouette. Missed one of her changes then.
The 56-year-old Japanese rider, Tomoko Nakamura, completing her freestyle test. It looks like she really enjoyed that with the dancing performance to
The Dancing Queen.
The Dancing Queen. And, well, what sort of performance, where would you be marking that if you were on sitting in the judges panel down there?
She didn't have too many mistakes. One of the simple changes wasn't as good as the other. And then she missed one of her changes in her loop. That's not technically a compulsory movement, but when you add things in that are technically more challenging, you open yourself up and you have to make sure that they're really strong. So unfortunately that will bring her harmony mark down a little bit from missing one of those, but well, it was too quick. So yeah, we'll see. I reckon around 75.
Well, let's just confirm the Ahmed Shabatli score. Mentioned it prior to the test. 63.825 across the technical and artistic. So now there is the score for Ahmed, and we'll wait on the score for Tomoko Nakamura. Now another French rider coming in, Estelle Guillet. She only scored 64.738 with Magic de Moret, a horse that she owns. Will be coming into the arena. There she is, just making her way in. And did you practice yesterday to music or not? Did you do anything? Did you do anything yesterday? What were you doing apart from trying to win silver?
I was competing.
Of course, it was yesterday. I can't remember what day of the week it is.
I've just had a message from one of my really good friends saying, "Please don't sing."
All right. Well, we're
he
not.
obviously knows how bad it is.
Oh, is it bad?
It's terrible.
All right. Well,
luckily my riding is just a little bit better than my singing.
So how much? When you're dividing up your training routine, I actually got the score coming in of Tomoko Nakamura. I can tell you, well, 73.565. So looking at what she'd been scoring, that's round about what she'd been scoring in other freestyles this year. So she'll be pretty pleased with that. And that's a competitive total, isn't it?
Definitely. I think she'll be up there. I think that might put her into 4th place. We've got the 3 strongest ones to come.
But good effort, though, nonetheless, from Tomoko Nakamura with that score. They're still getting ready for her test. Just trying to say, how much time, when you're trying to do, you've got so much, well, we'll talk more about that, the sort of time division in training when doing freestyle. And here we go, though, with Estelle Guillet. Dramatic, full-on start.
Where's this music from? Bond.
We've had Live and Let Die.
Yep.
Now this is clearly Bond, early Bond.
Losing a bit of regularity on the circles.
obviously a fan of 60s Bond. Sean Connery is her Bond of choice.
Maybe. I liked the recent one, Daniel Craig.
It's a generational thing.
Some nice walk steps. Nice and relaxed. Oh, here we go.
Mission Impossible. Do you remember the 60s version?
No. Just losing some activity in the canter, but a nice clear transition into walk for the simple change. Just losing some connection into that transition that time. Better positioning in the half pass that way. The transitions are getting better every time. I think she's giving the horse lots of confidence in the arena. But unsteady in the halt.
Well, Estelle Guillet completing her test, the third of the Grade 5 riders, with Magic des Morettes from France. And, well, at times it looked a little bit of a struggle, but completed she has. And the French, well, I suppose from a team perspective, it didn't quite go as well, but José Latarte was excellent earlier today. He really enjoyed his freestyle. And coming out of the arena, Estelle and the third riders. Now just let's confirm Tomoka Nakamura's score, which was excellent. And we're really pleased for the 56-year-old. She scored 73.565, 74.68 on the artistic front, and 72.450 for the technical element of her freestyle test. And that has put her provisionally in the lead. But as Natasha was saying, probably with the next 3 or 4 combinations to come, it's going to be maybe a struggle to hold on to, but you never know, and it would be wonderful if one of the Japanese riders would come away with a medal, just to spread, well, it's not to spread the confirmation that the sport is getting more and more competitive, and more countries are able to get involved in the shake-up. So we will see, but just let's look at the confirmation of where she sits on that leaderboard, 73.565. But imagine it might be a short-lived lead, because next into the arena, I think she's produced so far the best 2 tests across all classifications. And I refer to Sophie Wells, who's coming into the arena now. And she's got 1 gold medal for winning the Grade 5 on Tuesday. 1 silver medal, where she scored over 77% in the team competition. And now she's on board George, aka Fatal Attraction, or the proper name, Fatal Attraction. And having spoken to her last night, Tom Hunt is the man who's produced the music. He basically is the go-to composer for British lady event riders, dressage riders, isn't he? Event riders, lady dressage riders.
And male dressage riders too.
Well, Charlotte Dujardin and you.
He's done Carl's too.
Oh, he's done, well, yes, I suppose he would do Carl's, yes, because he's part of the same team. But
yeah, no, he kind of set the world alight when he did Charlotte's Music in London, and so yeah, you're right. He is the go-to person in the UK for music, and this is an original composition. So I haven't actually heard it. She wrote it in Hartbury earlier this year, so I'm really, really looking forward to seeing this test. She's upped the degree of difficulty, and yeah, I think we should just sit back and enjoy this. It's going to be great.
You think this will be in the 80s?
There's every possibility. If George and Soph are on form, there is every possibility that this could go into the 80s.
Well, she's getting ready to begin her test. And at Hartbury earlier this year, they scored 78.785.
So they're going to want to get a little bit better. Beautiful medium trot across the diagonal. This is going, oh, little spook at the end, I think. He was spooking the other day at the scoreboard down the end. I think he just caught his eye again. Just a couple of moments of tension, but on the whole, this is looking really beautiful. She went for that, didn't she? She's not throwing away any marks. Swinging the quarters a little bit in a zigzag. Oh, and a trip. Come on, keep it together, George. Good. Hopefully she can get that better. Again, the quarter's leading a tiny bit just after the flying change, but she regains control. She's a tiny bit ahead of her music. Come on. A little pat there for the 3-time changes. I think there was a 4 at the beginning, but
Sophie Wells then completing her test on a Fatal Attraction. Just got the reaction feeling from you, Natasha, that that wasn't necessarily George at his best, but what's your override feeling?
Yeah,
just one or two little niggling, sort of frustrating mistakes.
yeah, there was just a couple of moments of tension where it just got the better of him, and you could just see that a little bit in the changeover, in the canter half passes, where she just lost a bit of control of his quarters, and then going into the pirouettes as well. But on the whole, it was a really lovely test. It was just those few moments that affected the harmony between the horse and rider, which is one of the collective marks for the artistic. So let's see what the judges think, but technically it was so challenging, by far the most challenging floor plan that we've seen today, so we will see.
Okay, well, we'll see what she scores, but let's confirm what Estelle Guillet scored, and she has scored from France in this grade 5, 65.60, 68.2 for artistic, 63 exactly on the technical front. There was a 59 in there from the judge at H, but now we will wait with interest to see what happens to Sophie Wells. Maybe not into the 80s.
I'm not sure it will be.
Okay, there you go. So, but we expect it clearly to beat Tomoko Nakamura, but will it be next up into the arena from Belgium, Siska Vermeulen? Probably not expected to get a gold. You never know, might be able to sneak into a medal position. She's riding a 16-year-old chestnut that she owns, and it's Romeo. And about to begin her test, the fifth rider coming in, but really interesting the way it is set up. And will Sophie Wells produce a score? It's a long week for horse and rider, and in this heat too, so maybe Fatal Attraction just feeling a bit of the exertions, but we shall see the score in a moment. But now let's enjoy the latest rider to begin her test from Belgium, Siska Vermeulen.
This is looking to be, I think, one of Siska's better tests this week. I think the horse is looking really good today. Could just stretch down and out a little bit more in the rein for the higher marks in the free walk.
At Oregon earlier the year in a competitive freestyle, she scored 71.675. And in Doha earlier this year, 72.042. So kind of mark that could put her into into the mid-70s, possibly.
Yeah, I think she's looking on track to gain another 71, 72%. I think it might be quite close with Tomoko, maybe. Some pretty good simple changes. And some nice activity in the medium canter. Definitely some of the best lateral work that I've seen Siska ride this week.
Well, lots of supporters in the crowd for the Belgian rider Siska Vermeulen after she completes her test and looks very pleased with that effort. Really enjoyed doing that. And that's what it's all about, coming out thinking, right, horse has given it his best. I've enjoyed every last second of it, and clearly Siska has done exactly that.
Yeah, and freestyle is all about the fun, isn't it? You know, it's where we get the
fun
chance.
and competitive.
Well, yeah, of course it's competitive. It's always competitive. But it's the more fun day out of the three, and it's the opportunity to show off the horses to your best. And, you know, it's so good to being able to make the floor plan yourself, because you can really highlight the horse's strengths. And she did a really good job of doing that today.
Well, we haven't given you Sophie Wells' score. We didn't think it was going to be into the 80s, but the judges do, because artistically were very impressed. 82.960, technically 78.550, to give her a final score of 80.755. H is, H.
88% in artistic.
Marco Orsini from Germany.
It's beautiful, beautiful music. It just wasn't the best that I've seen George go this week, and you know you want to perform at your best every single day. But she did a great test. It was beautiful. There was just a couple of moments where the harmony wasn't quite there, like it has been the last couple of days.
Well, terrific performance from Sophie Wells. And as I say, it's a long week, maybe with the humidity just, you know, Fatal Attraction clearly has given it his all in both his previous classes, and maybe just a long week it is for horse and rider. But nonetheless, it's the first score into the 80s this week here at the World Equestrian Games in Tryon, and with Sophie Wells trying to add to her gold medal tally. And also she, of course, has won a silver medal as well. But coming into the arena from Holland, it is Frank Hosmar. Well, earlier his compatriot became the first non-British rider to secure 3 gold medals at any of the major championships, the European, Worlds or Olympics. So a wonderful moment for Sanne Weerts. But what can Frank Hosmar do with his Alphaville NOP? I think he likes a bit of 80s music, old Frank, so we might hear some good stuff from the 80s if that is your bag. So let's see how Frank, he must be amongst the contenders, but he's got to try and beat 80.755. Tomoka Nakamura currently occupying the silver medal.
Slave to the rhythm.
Oh, Grace Jones.
Slight change in the order where the other riders have chosen to ride the trot movements first, whereas Frank has gone in for the canter. Just mixes things up a bit nicer for the judges maybe. I mean, a very intricate canter floor plan as well.
I wonder if Mark Almond ever thought that his music would end up being used in the para dressage freestyle.
Maybe it's what he set out to do in life.
But it's easy to see why you can pick this bit of music, because it's easy to watch with the beat and everything. It works perfectly.
Yeah. But you have to be extra sure that the paces definitely fit to the rhythm of the music.
And it does.
Sure does. Really super changes.
Frank Hosmark bringing his test to a conclusion with Alphaville NOP, the Dutch rider who last year in securing silver medals scored 76.955 with this horse. Well, he's going to have to produce something really special if he's going to overhaul Sophie Wells's total. Natasha, you're the expert. It was lovely, fit well with the music, really enjoyed it.
And it was mistake-free. You know, there was a couple of little points in Sophie's test where it didn't flow quite as much, but you know, this looked really, really strong. It's probably one of the better freestyle tests that I've seen Frank do, if not the best freestyle that I've seen Frank do. So yeah, he'll be excited, I think.
Well, let's bring you Siska Vermeulen's score. She was so pleased with her score, with her performance. Will she have been pleased with the score? But that's sort of in keeping with what she normally produces in the freestyle, so I'm sure she'll feel very pleased with that 71.045 and 73.04 for the artistic and 69.05 for the technical. And that is the way it's order-wise, with just the one more rider to go. Sophie Wells on top with 80.755. Where will Frank Hosmark be, and where will Regine Mispelkamp, the bronze medalist from the individual? She is the final rider of our 7 to come into the arena to conclude the morning session here. And so it was, I suppose, if when it came to the bronze medal in the individual, people were saying, well, if there was anyone that was, you know, coming off the radar, she was one of the combinations that did that, but she acquitted herself quite brilliantly. I think this is her first major championships, and she absolutely rode a wonderful test, scoring 71.452.
Definitely, she's had a great first championships, and the horse is super, and I think there's so much more here for the future, so that's really exciting for the German team. And obviously the German team did pick up the bronze medal yesterday, so
how close was that for the bronze?
I know,
0.15, which is
so close. Well, nothing
from a judge. And over across, when you think 3 riders, you know, the narrowest of margin is bad enough for close enough between gold and silver, but the battle for bronze and that place to Tokyo was very hard fought, and Regine Mispelkamp went a long way to helping them secure that spot in Tokyo. But now she's about to begin her test here. Look At Me Now is the name of her horse, a 13-year-old gelding, which she owns. And off we go.
It's quite interesting, isn't it?
And I see what she's done there. She went out on a limb with that choice. You've got to have confidence if you're going to do something like that with the name of your horse and then playing Phil Collins coming in. But
she's got it.
She's got it, yeah.
Really lovely positioning down the centre line in shoulder in. A great start.
Earlier this year in a freestyle at Mannheim, they scored 70.167 in winning their class there.
She definitely means business today. This is one of my favourite songs, Ed Sheeran.
Lovely choice of music, and Regine looks like she's enjoying herself at the moment.
Yeah, she's putting together a really nice test.
Well, Regine Mispoelkamp concludes the Grade 5 competition. And it was a thoroughly enjoyable test, a good competition. And I'll tell you what, we're going to be bringing you Frank Hosmar's score in a moment, but the bronze medalist from the individual. And it'll be very interesting to see what she scores. And we will have the medal ceremony for the Grade 5 once they know the result here. It won't be the Grade 4 because there is Natasha, explain.
There's been an appeal. We don't know who's...
But hang on just for a second. 79.155 is the score for Frank Hosmar. 81.76 for Artistic. 76.550. And that is... well, very close.
Very
what,
close.
6.6 behind Sophie Wells. That is a brilliant performance from Frank. Probably might even be near a PB sort of area, wouldn't it? I would have thought.
Yeah, I would have thought it would be.
Well, this is the leaderboard with the, at the moment, Tomoka Nakamura in that bronze medal position. Sophie Wells and Frank Hosmar. Frank on course for another silver, but... and where would you say Regine's performance?
I think she could be in with another bronze medal today. Yeah, it looked a really, really smart test. It's a really lovely horse, and she put everything in there that was really technical, and she seemed to pull it all off. So it could be quite an exciting moment for her.
Well, we will have the medal ceremony for 5. We'll try and find out exactly what is going on with regard to the Grade 4. Maybe, I suppose, when you explain more exactly what could be going on as we wait this score.
Well, I don't really know what rider has appealed, so it's quite hard to say, but sometimes if there's a bit of a discrepancy in the score, or you're not quite happy, obviously the freestyle is timed, so maybe somebody's gone over the time that's been allowed, or maybe a rule has been broken somewhere. I don't really know, but appeals can be in so many different ways. It's really hard to tell.
Well, very intriguing indeed for the outcome of grade 4. We'll find out more, but the grade 5 we're now waiting on the judges. And you can see the sheets and everything being gathered in, and this is where you can all look at what the judges are saying and have said and what they've marked for. But now we're still waiting on this moment, and she's come in with 72.960. So that means the 56-year-old Japanese rider Tomoko Nakamura is the bronze medalist here. That is fabulous. Another country being represented with a medal here in the para dressage. And for the 56-year-old, what a moment for her to make it onto the podium. Regine Misbelkamp just being edged out with 72.960. So a big battle for gold, with Sophie Wells may not have been quite at her best with Fatal Attraction, but still the first score into the 80s, 80.755. Frank Hosmer brilliant, and with his silver of 79.155. But what a moment for the Japanese rider Tomoko Nakamura, 73.540. Well, we'll be back shortly for that medal ceremony for the grade 5. Sophie Wells winning her second gold of the week. Well, time now for the medal ceremony for the grade 5 classification. Natasha Baker alongside me to enjoy another golden moment for Great Britain here at this week's para dressage. And Sophie Wells is going to be the recipient of that gold medal as she comes forward. It's been a good week for good games for British across eventing, where they were double gold medalists, individual and team. The dressage team picked up team bronze in both individual and team. And here now Sophie Wells will be coming to receive a bronze, a second gold medal of the week.
I wonder if she'll cry this time. We were all pulling her leg the other day because she's known in the team as the Ice Queen, and she's got a heart of stone sometimes, but she cried on the team test day, which we were over the moon about. So I'm really hoping that we get some tears today. Well,
if you look behind you.
I know.
To enjoy it another with you here, and he will be joining us this afternoon. So Lee Pearson is just going to watch this, and what a moment for Tomoko Nakamura to receive the bronze medal, because the 56-year-old was excellent with jazz in the competition. And we have to make the presentations. Mary Binks, the FEI Bureau member, Gaetan Audier from the sponsors, Longines of the Games, and the Adicaman representative, Alan Mann. But coming forward onto the podium, Tomoko Nakamura. What a moment, and of course with the Paralympics in mind, this is a terrific performance. Now to receive another silver medal. He was part of the gold medal winning team that deprived Britain of that unbeaten run in the team competition. But Frank Hosmer with an excellent test, just missing out to the world champion again here in the World Equestrian Games. Sophie Wells moves forward onto the podium and adding to her collection, looking back at her horse George and the supporters in the crowd. Mary Binks is coming forward now of the FEI, presenting the bronze medal to the 56-year-old. Their eventing team had a terrific 4th place, so the sport in Japan, and what a moment, again, as a you as a Paralympian to see Japan winning here as well.
Yeah, definitely. It's great to see some new countries coming up and taking their first steps onto the podium. And like you said, with Tokyo in just 2 years away, she's going to be so excited and she's going to want to crawl up that podium a little bit more, I think.
Well, Sophie Wells looking at another gold medal being put round her neck. And I think she looks very pleased with her efforts. It's been a long week for all the competitors. And once again, Fatal Attraction was up to the mark. Now they're receiving their congratulations from Alan Mann of the Director of Strategic Partnerships of Adokan and the Chief Operating Officer for the Organising Committee, Sharon Decker. And a bouquet of flowers being presented to the gold medalist by Alan Mann to Sophie Wells.
I really want to see some tears. Come on, Sophie.
Well, I don't know what she's going to be. She's got a lot of Longines watches to bring back now, and excess baggage I think she's going to be needing, because this is the third one of the week. First one for Tomoko Nakamura. Frank Hosmar, he too has got 3 Longines watches this week. And so, as Gaetan presents the Longines watch to Sophie Wells, well, there's going to be a lot of people asking for these Longines. I don't. You've had 2 so far.
Ladies and gentlemen.
But now time for the Union Jack to be raised over this Tryon Stadium. Time for the national anthem. And there is our gold medalist, Sophie Wells. As the national anthem is played, well, that concludes the medal ceremony for the time being. We will be back, and Natasha will be joining me for the grade 1s before you have to get ready to try and be the second British rider to win gold today. No pressure then.
Thank you, Rupert.
Yeah, well, Lee Pearson will also be joining us this afternoon for the grade 2s and 3s. But a great morning sport with Sanne Weerts winning a 3rd gold medal, and that 3rd gold medal means that she's the first non-British rider to win 3 gold medals at a Olympic, Paralympic, World or European Championships. That's it for the time being. We'll be back at just before 1:30 for the start of the afternoon session with the grade 1s.